I've been doing a lot of journaling reflections. I decided a few days ago to look at my life 2 years ago, and it wasn't until then, upon the reflection, that I realized how much my life has changed in the last 2 years. And it made me deep dive into what I think made it possible for my life to change pretty dramatically, but it was very gradual, so I wasn't really aware of it. This is not some formula of like, do this and you're going to transform your life, because transition is very subjective depending on what people want in their life and like how they want it to change or look like. Another thing I also want to make clear is that I have a lot of privileges. I'm very aware of those privileges, and I'm very grateful and thankful for the opportunities that I have had to get me where I am. So again, this isn't like a do exactly this and your life is going to change. Something's compelling me to speak about it, and I'm hoping that it will bring you some hope or some inspiration somehow in your journey of transformation. The first thing that I want to start with is journaling. Journaling is not going to change your life. Actually, I think it will, but to sell you on journaling, I think what I need to point out is journaling will help you to understand who you are as a core, as a person, to start breaking down those layers. 2 years ago, I didn't realize how negative I was being until I went back and reflected on like what I was journaling, and I only would talk about the negative things. There was never positivity, there was no gratitude or anything like that. And it made me really sad. I really recommend trying out journaling. You don't have to write pages. I have this journal called Some Lines a Day, and it's separated by dates. So you have 5 sections for 5 years. So this was 2022, 2023, and now 2024. See what it's been really cool to go back and look at what I've been doing on each day from the past 2 years. I would just write what I did for the day, but sometimes my feelings would come out in it. Writing about like what you did that day, you can look at your habits, patterns, things that you were into. Are you still doing those same things? And it's just a few lines a day. And I do it right before bed. I put it on my pillow so I don't forget, because I will forget. I do want to be clear, there are some days that I did miss completely, so it's not completely full. I have ADHD. There's no way this journal is going to be full. The last thing that I want to say about journaling was that 2 years ago, I was still in a living situation that I was not happy with. I was with my partner for 9 years. We're living together, but with somebody else. And I wanted more than anything to move out and have my own place. And anybody that knew me in that moment would know how obsessed I was with the idea of moving out and wanting my own space. And it got to me mentally so much. It was the step that I wanted to take in our relationship, but it wasn't possible at the time. So I wrote that as impossible. In my mind, I was like, it's impossible for us to move out. Now, I knew within a couple of years that we were going to be able to move out. I just thought that we were years away from that until something happened and we were able to move out. I didn't get permission to speak about the financial situation, so I can't tell you details, but it became possible very suddenly, very quickly, and that made me go back and relabel everything that I deemed as impossible in that moment. It happened, and here we are. I'm in my second apartment living with my partner. I used to also write, if only I had my own space, I would film more. And guess what I didn't do all of last year? I did not film. I realized that there was something even deeper than that, and that was my creativity was at its lowest. I was in this really bad habit of creating for what I think the audience wanted to see versus what I wanted to show. So I decided to step away for a while. I decided to film things and never publish them. I fell in love with filming again and learned a lot about myself and like what I like to film. Creating over consuming, it's really powerful. I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of different creators, but that inspiration came from hoping that I can also become successful like them. It was never coming from a genuine place, but I love creating videos. I love telling stories, and I don't want to give that up. So I don't know what I was trying to say there. Hopefully editing Taylor can figure out what I was trying to say there. Creating overconsumption, there's something really powerful about that. The next thing that helped me transform and learn more about myself is going back to being a kid again, where I had a lot of hobbies. Somebody with ADHD, I've had a lot of hobbies growing up, and there's one thing that's really powerful about having ADHD is that we're a little bit delusional, and we can look at something and be like, I can do that. So I've learned how to do a lot of things over the years, and I have since then started to dive back into those hobbies. I'm sewing now, restoring like really cool vintage products, learning how to dye fabrics and creating my own wardrobe from secondhand fashion. And it's been so much fun. And I'm also reading more than ever. I'm labeling this as being a kid again because I think as a kid we prioritized playtime and creating things, versus now we have to kind of fight our free time to do those things. So I know that that's easier said than done, but if there's some time in your day where you can stop consuming, put down the phone and start creating, like play around. If you have kids, maybe you can play with them. You can paint with them. There's just something really beautiful about being a kid again. I think the last thing, I feel like there's a lot more factors into how I've transformed my life, but one thing that I started this year that I can speak to at volumes, honestly, I could do like a whole separate video on journaling and like organization and things like that, but that is a planner. Look, I have a little sloth sticker on it. Isn't it cute? It's only like a transformation that I think that I have seen in terms of like productivity. So I think this is like the step one of transforming my life, and that is a planner. I was doing a lot of digital to-do lists and calendars, etc., because as a minimalist I didn't want journals and paper and extra things. I have been able to like freaking transform my life with a physical planner. There's something so instant gratifying. There's this instant gratification that I get from physically checking something off of my list that it makes me want to complete my entire list. I only have 3 minutes left on this SD card, so that's a sign that I've been talking too much. I have plans for this channel. I just need to organize it in my brain a little bit more. So I hope that you can join me here again. Thanks for watching. I missed you all, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.